Imitation is the highest form of flattery. Really? Fake it till you make it. For real? We have these sayings, especially in the context of capitalist growth, that mimicry leads to ultimate mastery, that imitation leads to an eventual sense of authenticity. And I think these sayings blur the real process that is at work. Faking it doesn't lead to making it. It is understanding what's fake and what's real that ultimately leads you to know what you want to make of it. Imitation isn't the highest form of flattery. Imitation is the highest form of influence. Imitation is a reflection of how much people have been impacted by your originality. So as a result, it is counterproductive and contradictory for you, if you're a hip-hop practitioner, rapper, in whatever scope, to think that by imitating somebody else, it ultimately leads to greatness. It is only flattering to that person you imitate. This is an important thing because a lot of artists get stuck in the limbo of not transcending their influences. We all, as practitioners of rap in the context of pop culture, have fed into our favorite rappers. Enter Novl, an amazingly, brilliantly talented MC from JSEC who gives us a project called Hold My Beer, Let Me Rap. Now, the statement in itself is a brash expression of belief in one's own skill. It's that moment where somebody says, hold my beer and watch me perform at the level through which I will be able to capture you. Watch me do what I do best. Now I want to enter into that. Does he do it? First and foremost, Novl's project starts with a jazzy, open, political-esque narrative that speaks to a lot of To Pimp a Butterfly Kendrick Lamar. And I think any listener in the pop rap scope and the hip hop scope is going to recognize this immediately. So you let it move in and you ask yourself, okay, this feels awfully like a Kendrick Lamar intro, from the husky ad-libs to the scattered voices to the syncopated jazz references, and you tell yourself, let me wait and see if it becomes something more. And in the case of Hold My Beer, Let Me Rap, it doesn't become anything more. It further goes into the tangent of Kendrick Lamarisms. It further goes into the tangent of the best things we've come to admire about Kendrick. His rapid, high-paced, yet intentionally reflective storytelling, his alien-like need to embody different voices and make the story broader by jumping from character to character, and most importantly, his threading balance of political awareness, or at least political interest, that is able to be translated in simplistic songwriting with enough pop appeal. Novl's album has all of these traits. The musicality is a sheer diamond shine, pristine quality of warmth, which gives you so much room to breathe. There are songs in here like Protect the Kids and that little outro during Rapstar Freestyle, and even the interlude themselves, that kind of speaks to a way broader musical palette than most projects in the hip-hop scope in this country or anywhere else for that matter. He is reminiscent of artists like Kendrick and again Kendrick and Chance the Rapper, who have taken their hip hop and found a way to delicately bring it to a scope where you could easily translate this to a live band. And also it's easily translatable in a digital scope where you feel the presence of technology, and it's able to kind of blur into the two and create this beautiful organic present moment of musical rap. Therefore, why isn't this a brilliant project? With all of the production that penetrates beyond tropes and goes into an actual individual attention to the musical power of it. Because again, Novl is a Kendrick Lamar mimic. He's a Kendrick Lamar alike. And there are moments in this where it infuriates the listener, in this case myself, that he pops into aspect where you actually hear his actual vocal range, where he sounds nothing like Kendrick, but he insists on flattening and pitching his voice in a way that is more reminiscent of Kendrick. He adopts a persona which is further from his actual resonating voice than it is. So that in itself speaks to a kind of artificiality. You are disconnected from the person and you step into a caricature. And I feel like this project doesn't say hold my beer and let me rap. It's more hold my beer and let me rap like Kendrick. It doesn't speak to his unique vocal, technical, and thus emotional approach to rap as a person. It speaks to his influence. And because it speaks to more his influences than his own ultimate unique set of skills, this project doesn't go beyond being a quaint rendition of a kind of rap that we love and enjoy. So for those who love Kendrick, you're obviously gonna love this. For those who love Chance, you're gonna love this. And all these artists in between, the Mick Jenkins, artists who have negotiated themselves into a place of deliberate political address, but also resigning and residing in this kind of pop scope where they pay attention to good songwriting. It fits into the marketplace in that way. And as a project, it's a great step into South Africa becoming aware that we can have our own Kendrick Lamar. But I feel like that's a catch-22 dynamic, because we can introduce scopes of rap without being reminiscent of the people who influenced them. We can open up the opportunity for our rap to become more infused with a storytelling capacity, with an attention to musical detail, with an appreciation for both the jazz and the funk elements, bringing it together to the homegrown South African center. We can do all of that and better when we do it by being ourselves. Headspace is all about the A word, authenticity. And what is authenticity? Authenticity is when you're able to translate your influences into a unique set of qualities that, one, talk to your immediate demographic, but two, also trickle into the rest of the world in ways that don't immediately reminisce into something that they know already. This quality of authenticity and lack thereof is the reason why artists like Nasty C are struggling to adapt to America. So if, say, Novl was to take the same plane ticket to the United States of America, he'd be in the same predicament, where he's a small fish in a big ocean of other Kendrick Lamars. There are artists who have been children of the same style, particularly artists like John Gibbs and Saba, who have openly, and JID probably right now is in the masses, have openly admitted their influence for Kendrick, and you can hear it in many ways. But these artists have been able to outgrow that by addressing that critical issue, by growing out of the ghost of their influences. And so I feel like this project musically is able to get Novl into a place that is average enough for the album to carry power, but doesn't quite breach out of the realm of influence. Therefore, I've got to give this one a 5. It's peak average. Because the reason that it's not just average, but peak average, is that it speaks to the things we usually get from Kendrick. And don't we love Kendrick? There's a reason why he's the biggest rapper ever. Matter of fact, I've addressed Kendrick Lamar as a rapper and the contradictions of who he is in earlier videos where I talk about him as being hip-hop's false idol. Post the link those in the description. But this issue of Kendrick Lamar, which haunts hip-hop, even in the South African scope, is explicitly shown through artists like Novl. We will not make it anywhere if we try to become other Drakes, if we try to become other J. Coles, if we try to become other Kendrick Lamars. Let's learn from what these artists have done and understand the key emotional ingredients. Let's move beyond the aesthesis of what makes them who they are. Kendrick Lamar's donning dreadlocks and walking around in a crown of thorns, you do the same thing. Drake is going around having cornrows, you do the same thing. So I think there's something that in mimicry is disingenuous to the growth of an individual. So again, sayings like imitation is the highest form of flattery are only a benefit to those who are original. Sayings like fake it till you make it are only a benefit to those who have made it already by being original. And they don't give those who still aspire to be in the mold a chance at really understanding how to develop. So as a result, 5 out of 10 from me. Musically vast, beautifully, majestically manifested. Project has range for days production wise, so we must give credence to the production team on this. But the center that is supposed to hold it all together drowns it in the typical Kendrick-esque angles, and therefore it doesn't go beyond 5, 6, 7, 8, reaching an ultimate 10. I was saying off the record to Dageza, it could have been a 10 if Novl donned his own voice, if Novl's ad-libs, if Novl's approach was lyrically in a place where the Kendrick Lamar rings as an echo, not as an immediate flash. And therefore, Novl, I hope as an artist you're able to grow beyond the influence and tap into the musical greatness that I know is there. So as a result, I gotta give you back your beer and I've gotta let you learn how to rap like yourself. Because in this instance, the confidence and the ultimate range that it takes to truly make it as an individual artist isn't there. Kendrick Lamar is a huge talking point. We've spoken about it before, and like I said, I'll post the videos. We'll link the videos that we've spoken about Kendrick in the comment section, and other videos where we've engaged with this idea of authenticity. We've spoken about it as the Headspace continuously, so if you're interested in what do I mean by being original and being authentic, because there's nothing new under the sun. Of course, newness is a unique combination of the old thing. And right here, there are no unique combinations. It's the same setups, it's the same arrangements, sonically and lyrically. Therefore, please subscribe to the Headspace for more discourse on originality, for more discourse on authenticity, for more discourse on how artists can stick out and be themselves, and thus artists like Novl are able to go beyond the 5 average mark. My name is Viwe, the brother from the ancient mother, and I leave you with the last words that says that if you want to be anybody in this world, just try to be yourself, because there's already other people being themselves. And if you move in and blend in into the crowd, you disappear. You disappear because you do not speak to the uniqueness of your own path. Speak to your path and believe in it. Because if you're still mimicking other people, then possibly it's because you don't yet believe enough in what you can do